Hi, this is grade 7, chapter 9, part 1, exploring integer addition. So let's get to it. So an integer is a whole positive or a negative number. So it's got to be a whole number. It can't be, and it can be any one of the following. So it can be positive or negative. Negative 3 is an integer. Plus 3 is an integer. So anything in between. Integers that are greater than 0 to the right of 0 are positive. Integers that are less than 0 are negative. So if we look at this, is 25% an integer, or sorry, negative 25 an integer? Yes. Is 123.4? No, it's not, because of the decimal place. Is 1,243? Yes, it is, because it's a whole number. Positive 4? Yes, that's the same as 4. Negative 2.4, it's got a decimal right in here. So it's that's how you drag it off. No, it is not. Okay? So next slide. We've got a lot, so I'm going to try to go through it a little bit faster. What do the arrows on the number line indicate? So these arrows that we're talking about right here mean that these numbers go on until infinity. So it goes on indefinitely. So what are positive integers? So positive integers are whole numbers that are greater than 0, appear on the right to the 0 on the number line. So when you do a number line, when we keep talking about this is a number line right here. So this is a number line. I'm assuming that you've seen this before and that you know this. So anything that's 0 right here, this is positive and this is negative. So what are the negative integers? So negative integers are whole numbers that are less than 0 on the left-hand side. Is the 0 on the number line a negative integer or a positive integer? Neither. The 0 is a neutral number, so it's not positive and it's not negative. What two signs indicate whether an integer is negative or positive? The signs negative and the signs positive. So when you use this is a negative sign. This is a positive sign. The plus and the minus. Finally, what are two integers the same distance from 0 on opposite sides of the number line called? Two integers the same distance are called opposites. So if you have positive 4 and negative 4, they're both 4 away from 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be 4 and negative 4, and that's opposites. So you need to know this because that will pop up on a test. Hint, hint, hint. So write an integer for each of the following. 7 degrees below Celsius. We know that below means negative, so negative 7. So going up 4 floors. Up is a positive movement, so we're going to go positive 4. So owing $50. If you owe $50, that's money you don't have. So you're negative 50 right there. And there's the dollar sign. 150 meters above sea level. So it's 150 plus. Move back 4 spaces. Again, negative 4. Back. And then 5 shots under par. Under, this is a golf term. So you would be negative 4. Explore integer addition. So for 9.1, let's figure out, now that we know integers, use the integer chips to model each one. So what is happening here? Okay. So we know that integer, the red integer chip represents a positive 1, and then the blue integer chips represent the negative 1. So red is positive, blue is negative. So when we're here, positive 3, we're going to drop 3, and then negative 2 is 2 blues. So that's positive 3, there you go. So positive 3 and negative 2 is red, 3 reds, 2 blues. So the red chip represents that. So to double check, yeah, we're correct. So why do you think the one red chip and one blue chip is called a zero pair? When you have this, if this equals positive 1 and this equals -1, when you add them together, it equals 0. Or when you put them together, it equals 0. So it's called a zero pair. They're a pair of zeros together. So let's predict the sum of each sets of opposite integers. How do you know? Drag the integer chips of the body to reveal the answer. So +2 plus -2. So when we have +2, that's represented right here. This is +2. -2 is right here. And when we add them together, well, +1 and -1, that's a 0. And +1 and -1, that's a 0. So this must equal 0. Yeah. Oh my Lord. That's fun. So +3 and -3, that's going to also equal 0. I figured it out. Because as we go through, we know that +3, that's a 0 pair, that's a 0 pair, that's a 0 pair, so it's a 0. So write the addition statement for each set of integers chips. So when we have this, we know that it's +1, and we put this in brackets just so that we know the symbols belong to that number, plus -1. So when we're here, oh my Lord, every time, we know that +1 and -1, so that's correct. Okay. So let's move that here. We'll erase this. For this one, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, so +4, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, plus -4 equals 0. But as we put this here, we've got +4 and -4. So what is the opposite of each integer listed below? So this is pretty straightforward. The opposite of positive is negative, so negative, and then 12. So the opposite of positive is 12 is -12. Opposite of positive 48, again, pause this and try this at home. You should always be doing this while I'm doing the questions, just to see if you can do this as well. But that's -48. The opposite of -24 would be positive 24. The opposite of positive 98 is -98. The opposite of -63 is positive 63. So when we add these integers, use the integer chips to model +4 and 2. So organize these 0 chips into 0 pairs, put each 0 pair into the bucket. Uh-oh. We have to figure out what is left over. I forgot the question. +4 and -2. Okay? So, +4. Holy. There's a lot going on in this screen. +4 is 4 red chips. 1, 2, 3, 4. We know that that's +4. If we need -2, there's negative and negative. And remember that when we have these two together, that equals 0. That equals 0. So what we're left over with is the answer, and that's +2. So we have integer chips. We have 4 positive integer chips and 2 negative integer chips, and that equals that. So example 2, using your chip should add this. So when we go here, we're going to add +3 and -4. So +3, so there's 3 red chips, and then there's 4 blue chips. So we have these here, and we move them out. There's the 4, and then when we go through and we make 0 pairs, that's a 0 pair, that's a 0 pair, that's a 0 pair. we're left with one negative. So the answer is -1. Plus 3 plus -4 equals -1. We can also write this as plus 3 minus 4 equals -1. Anyways, we'll get into that later. Don't worry about that right now. So example, use the integer chips to add 2. So we know that plus 4, -2 equals plus 2. We've gone over that. So number 2, we've gone through that as well. So plus 3 plus -4 equals -1 because there's one blue chip left over. All of your questions are online. If they're not, come see me. And if you have any questions, please, please, please come see me. Thanks.